We are back on Morning Line on this Monday. Thanks for joining us. With us is Davidson County Sheriff Daron Hall. It's good to have you. I'm glad we had you on because I think we had you on earlier this month. Maybe was it close?
Last month.
But yeah, you came on again now. So you are going to do the media rounds today, right?
Yeah, we really the last minute toy store stuff, and just trying to let everybody know we do need volunteers, and you can still drop off toys if you want to. We had a truck that went to the Predator game on Saturday night, one of these big box trucks, and they filled the thing. It was amazing.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, if you get a chance, go on social media. Last Minute Toy Store has a Twitter handle. We do too, but you would not believe what all has been. The city of Nashville, everybody has really been fantastic, and again, if you could capture the moment of these folks turning that corner who weren't going to have an opportunity to do anything for their children, it's just what's supposed to happen. And I'm a big fan of the program, but it's what our agency was really looking for. We used to do Toys for Tots. We would collect toys and put it in boxes, and then once a year the Marines would come and pick the toys up and take them away. You really never saw what happened.
Right.
And that's a great program too, but what we wanted to do was to see the work year round that went into it, you know, kind of in the hands of the people who need it. And
what are the hours again?
Do
you know, what time, does it go till like 5 at night? I'm just wondering for volunteers.
Yeah, 9 to 4.
Something from 9 to 4 is when you guys, is that what it is?
Yes, 9 to 4 Thursday,
and you can check
Friday.
on the website as well,
Yeah,
9 to 4.
9 to 4 Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then
I may look into it and check with Mark, see if I can go out there because I may have some time off during the week, because you don't have the problem on the weekend. Saturday, I'm sure you'll be good.
It's a better
day maybe sometime on Friday or Thursday.
Yeah, and again, if you show up, you know, surely you know how to.
Can I dress up and wear a Santa hat?
You can wear. Everywhere you go, I see you dressed up. You have your. Where were you serving meals the other day? And you had your elf.
I was there at the chili cook-off.
That's right.
And then I was wearing a turkey
You'll go
hat.
anywhere and eat. That's what I hear.
Will there be food for volunteers?
You will be found.
I would do it. Okay,
you'll be found.
All right, we got some phone calls for the sheriff. Lines are open if you want to talk about that or anything else. And I imagine first off is, as always, going to be our friend Joe. Joe, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Sheriff and Nick. Happy holidays to you two guys and all the people at Channel 5 and all the public servants in Nashville. You know, I think a lot of the young folks don't realize what their parents do for them as they grow up, and don't, you know, I know that you and a lot of other folks realize what their parents have done for them to raise them. And I want to shout out to everybody that still has their parents to congratulate for holidays, and especially to your mother and father. And you know, a lot of people don't realize also that a lot of people have to work through the holidays. You know, especially public servants. So give a shout out to them. And hope they have all, you know, time to celebrate a little bit of the holidays. But a lot of people have to work. So that being said, hope everybody has a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And one last question: when's the target date for the jail to open?
Man, I'll tell you what, have you driven by there, Joe?
It is moving.
Every day it's getting bigger.
It is moving. Tell you what, Joe, I want you to come down and walk through it with me. We're going to have, I mean, there'll be several things, but
you should do it, Joe.
Yeah, we're going to do. Like, I'd say July and August we'll be, you know, be able to do some of that, and then we probably won't use it as a functional building. I think until October maybe, but we'll be in touch before then. But Joe, I want you to,
of 2019.
Right, this time
you know what's
next
interesting?
Year.
Have you seen as you pulled up right next to the TV station here? Both of those, they were state buildings, weren't they?
Yes.
I forget. One was
regulatory.
Regulatory was what was right next to it, and then another one. Both of the buildings just across from Municipal Auditorium here on James Robertson Parkway, next to the station. Have been, one's completely gone, and the other one's on its way. And when I understand, it's kind of neat because it's going to be driven by the jail to some degree. You know, there's that restaurant that's been a couple of things just across the street. It was the Perch. It was a crepe place. Now it's a Mexican restaurant, which I heard is quite good. I haven't been up there yet, but there's going to be a boutique hotel, I think. One next to us, and then next to us, where they're tearing down the regular, I think is going to be kind of mixed use, maybe some restaurant or something. I mean,
that's great.
Do you think this stuff's? Not that, you know, the people that are housed in the jail can go use this, but the workers can.
There's over 250 employees that
so if
live
they have a
there
walking distance, prior to this, what was the nearest walking restaurant to the jail? You would be going down to the arcade or someplace downtown.
Right. Delivery services, which are hard to get in and out of there.
More of them down around here, I think, are going to open up, and I think they'll do well because of all the staffing that'll be there. Don't you think, maybe?
Yes. Well, and it helps our employees, helps us recruit employees, everything, because they have a place to come and go and do that. And also, I've said this many times, it was one of the frustrations. You know, these are tax-paying, you know, public servants, as Joe said, and when we're all home tearing hope and presents, we're going to have people down here working in an environment that most people wouldn't dare work in. And so for them to have opportunities to go across the street and to have really a nice environment to live and work in downtown, I mean, it's I'm really happy to see it. We, you know, for years, we've got old produce places and things that needed to be torn down. Even these buildings you're talking about, they weren't terrible, but we needed some new life in it. And you know, gosh, you know, right behind us here, the ballpark and everything that took off. It's going to be it's going to be really nice.
There's some cool places. Yeah, right behind us, Von Elrod's.
Von Elrod's, right?
You go in there and have a sausage and a beer.
Right.
I mean, it's with the baseball and all of that. But yeah, you know, it's interesting. You and I both went into fields where I'm sure you did, maybe not as much now, but we both have worked holidays.
Right.
A lot. And in the news business, it never ends. And I remember when I first got into it, I don't know about you, it's kind of like, well, I'm here working on Christmas Eve, you know, and I finally came to the realization it's not that big a deal.
Right.
You know, I like to be with my family or whatever, but you can celebrate other days. We have reporters in our newsroom now that will be here that day because news happens every day. Right. And it's how it is. But there's sometimes almost something kind of neat about working on those days. And I'm to that conclusion. I tell everyone, well, I have to work holidays. Well, if you don't want to work holidays, go work for the bank or the state, you know? But I mean, in the news business or law enforcement, you work sometimes on holidays, and it's not really all that bad, at least for me. You know, whatever.
I can remember doing this, but I can remember more importantly people doing it for each other. You see another spirit of people. I mean, if you've just had kids, to me, the holidays are really about kids. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved it, and I loved it when I had small children. Right. The older your kids get, and when it's just not as meaningful that morning and those things. So I love to watch the people who don't have kids say, look, I'll work for you and you cover for me. I mean, it's just the way the thing works. We've never had problems about getting people to do it. But I do think we should stop and say thank you to folks who are working on those days. I mean, I get to sleep at home every night while I have people downtown working in environments that I wouldn't want to be in all night long.
Do you remember the late, great Judge Rubin?
Oh, every Christmas,
Every Christmas. I mean, he was of the Jewish faith, and he would volunteer to go in there as a judge, and he didn't have to. A powerful, well-known judge, and he would work those days. And he said, "Look, I want these people," and which was really neat. He had the best Mickey Mouse collection.
He did.
His office
Do you know why?
Was great. No.
Yeah, he was in the city council back years before my dad actually was, but he was in city council, and he was sitting up there one night and they were debating an issue, and you know how it gets sometimes, and he got on the microphone and he said, if y'all quit Mickey Mousing around, we'd get something done. And so that took off.
Is that how it started?
And everybody started sending in Mickey Mouse
stuff. He had and then it took a life of its own, an incredible collection.
Yeah, great
guy. You're absolutely right. And there's people that, for their families, I'll work for them if it means they can be home, because my son's older now. And let's go to, next up is Paul. Paul, good morning. Hi, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Nick. Good morning, Sheriff.
Hey, good morning, Paul.
Hey, Lord have mercy, I know about working holidays. I got to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at the prison at Trousdale. So, Sheriff, I just got through ironing my uniform. You know, that's how old sergeants got to do it. Nick, Democrats can't afford to have dry cleaning, so I got to iron my uniform. Anyway, what I was going to tell you was, I heard Nick talk about what they do in the prisons and jails for the holidays for the inmates. My background for years is mainly been in prisons, Nick. Okay. And what we do is we generally have them a good meal for the holidays now. I mean, don't get me wrong, it ain't standing rib roast like that, but it's generally a pretty good meal. And we generally, in a prison setting, most of the time we serve the meal the day before the holiday, just simply because the next day a lot of people will be off, and we need security. You know, prisons have what we call a chow hall, and inmates come to the chow, come to chow hall and eat. So we have extra security staff there. Now the sheriff runs a jail. I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure the sheriff, they do what they call satellite feeding, where they take the food to the inmates in the housing pods. So they don't have a chow hall. But anyway, what I was going to say is one last thing. The last time the sheriff was on there, I understand that he got a award or accommodation for being going to start a term as being the president of the Sheriff's Association or something across America. He said something about that last time, and I just want to let him know that Sheriff Jeff Long, another good buddy of mine, he just got took a cabinet position with the new incoming governor, and so I just want to say that as far as the sheriffs of the Middle Tennessee area, you ain't got no better in the country, Nick, as the man you got right there sitting next to you, and Sheriff Jeff Long is right there with him, and that's my comment. Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys, and have a happy and safe Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Paul. You as well. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to go to the break, but real quick with regard to Jeff Long, I like him. Nice guy. Yes. Williamson County Sheriff kind of came in and replaced Ricky Headley.
Right.
So it's interesting. He's going to work for the governor now. What will happen to his position, to your knowledge? Is that go up for election at some point? Does the chief deputy step in for the time being?
Chief deputy goes immediately. Then the commission will have to appoint. Then he'll have to sit for election whenever their next cycle would be. Not election cycle, but their next, I believe, their next general election, which may be 2 years.
Okay, I was wondering. It's
Dusty Rhodes is a great guy.
He's been there forever. You never forget his name.
Yeah, Dusty.
I do wonder. It wasn't too long ago, and I haven't been in touch. I didn't get back to him, and I should have. But I talked to Headley, Ricky, and he was thinking of running again.
Well, you remember what happened was he tried. No, he tried, and there was some confusion over that. He got on the news and complained about. I forgot why, but there was a reason why they wouldn't allow him.
He was going to try to challenge with a certain amount of time. You know, he had gotten into some trouble, some issues where he had to leave office. But the singing sheriff, I don't know if he'll. And he's older now anyway. I don't even know if he's interested in what he's doing. But I saw that Jeff was leaving anyway, and I always respected him, liked him, and so Dusty Rhodes. I always wondered if I got the sense that maybe Dusty Rhodes was content in the position he's doing. I didn't know if he ever really wanted to be sheriff. Maybe now this is his chance.
I understand he is going to pursue that.
Okay, well, good for him.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, and I think the world of Jeff Long, and I mean, he has an extensive background. He's a DA. He was a TBI. He's got, you know, he will be a fantastic commissioner of safety, as we used to call it, and I think he'll be really good. And I made a comment recently that he's a really good sheriff and a really good member of the Sheriff's Association, because he helps some legislation, and he has a very good relationship with the governor now that's going in. So that'll help safety, but the sheriff's office and I think Dusty would do a fine job.
He's been there a long time through
a
lot of sheriffs. But Jeff was always good too, because he was accessible, which I appreciate. He's like you. I mean, you guys, I know how busy you are, and you guys, but some of the very best sheriffs like you and him are also sometimes accessible. I could call him on his cell phone, and if I didn't reach him, and he had a PR person as well, but he sometimes would call me back or he'd pick up, and I appreciate that. Listen, we'll take a break. When we come back, more of your phone calls right after this. Stay with us.